Well guys, we made it. This is my final review of the Halloween series. I've reviewed all 9 of the sequels, and now we're down to the big kahuna, the immortal classic, the one and only John Carpenter's Halloween. I met this 6-year-old boy with this blank, pale, emotionless face, and the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. Halloween stars Donald Pleasence, Jamie Lee Curtis, and is directed by John Carpenter. Guys, I'm so excited to finally get to this review because Halloween is my favorite movie of all time. I can declare that without question. Halloween is such a simple story of babysitters babysitting kids on Halloween night, and a masked psychopath is on the loose, and his sole purpose is to kill them. Halloween is so effective because it combines so many elements perfectly together to create the perfect horror movie. First of all, you got the characters. All the characters in this movie are so relatable. They're not caricatures. You know enough about them to relate to them. You got Laurie Strode, who is the goody two-shoes. You got Annie, who is the wisecracker. And then you have Linda, who is promiscuous. But all 3 characters work because they seem like they're relatable and they're people who you can talk to. And most importantly, no matter what their flaws are, they're all likable. And I have to give a lot of credit to Deborah Hill because she was responsible for writing all the dialogue of the teenage girls. John Carpenter was responsible for all the darker material, the Dr. Loomis, Sheriff Brackett, Michael Myers. Which brings me to my next point, Dr. Loomis. The character of Dr. Loomis, played remarkably by Donald Pleasence, elevated the material. Without him, some might have called Halloween just a basic slasher flick. But because of his character, this whole story is taken seriously. He is really the glue that holds the whole story together. He is also the savior of this movie. When Michael Myers is stalking his victims, the one person you think that might be able to save these people is Dr. Loomis. And he is the perfect antagonist for Michael because he's almost as crazy as Michael. You can really tell that his 15 years that he has spent with Michael has made him kind of mad. Also, Halloween is the movie that put John Carpenter on the map. His direction in Halloween has been emulated so many times, and not just by horror movies. The guy is the horror master. Really, Halloween is the only slasher movie he's ever made. And it's arguably the greatest slasher movie ever. The reason being is John Carpenter knows about suspense. He is a master of suspense. One of my favorite quotes from John Carpenter is, a good horror movie should do 3 things. It should scare the audience, and finally it should scare the audience. What he means by that is keep it simple. Halloween is basically a game of cat and mouse. And without those suspenseful elements, it wouldn't have been near as effective. Michael Myers rarely kills in this movie. But the reason it's so effective is not when he kills them, but the tension that is created up until the point that he kills them. And I have to mention the score of Halloween. The score is arguably one of the most recognizable scores in Hollywood history. And it's so effective, even to this day, after listening to it 35 years later. I've watched Halloween probably 50 times. And from the first scene where we see Michael walking around the house and he looks up in the window, and when that light comes on, that music cue hits and it takes you right back. That scene is so creepy because of the music. And lastly, the fact that the movie was set on Halloween night and was called Halloween was a stroke of genius. Because what kid can't relate to the holiday of Halloween? The holiday itself is about fear and being afraid. And this movie really gets you in the spirit of the holiday. And it's a lot of fun. Halloween is a lot of fun. Guys, usually I'll have a cons list on a movie, but for Halloween, I can't think of one bad thing about the movie. It's the perfect length, it's got the perfect killer, it's got the perfect protagonist, it's got the perfect director, it's got the perfect cinematographer. The list goes on and on. And that is why it is my favorite movie of all time, and that's why I have to give it Trapped on an Island. Guys, thank you so much for watching all my Halloween reviews. I've had a lot of fun with it. Also, thank you so much for watching my channel. I'm really enjoying sharing my thoughts on movies with you guys. And I love reading your comments and discussing these movies with you. So keep on watching, follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and rum-dum out.